Well, hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday night. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hello to all. My name is Jeff Street. I teach people how to make money from home online. And tonight I want to talk about entrepreneurship and why do people make a decision to become an entrepreneur. And I believe there's multiple different reasons why people say, you know what, it's time for me to go out and work for me. And I want to talk to you guys today about, what are 5 of the most common reasons why people decide to go out and own a business, why people decide to be self-employed. Well, maybe somebody will decide to have a home-based business. Number one is some people are born into it. Meaning if you're raised, like a lot of times we can be a product of our environment. Now we don't have to be, but a lot of times we are. So if you're raised by somebody that's a business owner, typically parents, that own a business when they raise their children, typically won't teach their child how to go out and get a job. Instead, they'll teach their child how to run a company, how to buy assets, how to go out and be financially literate, how to go out and make money work for them. So some people are just in the situation where they're born into a family of entrepreneurs. So thus, they naturally become an entrepreneur because they were born into it. That wasn't necessarily, me. Number 2 is you find a mentor. You find somebody that starts to mentor you in life, that's been a business owner, that's had success, that's been an entrepreneur. And because you find a mentor, you start to learn the things that they know. And all of a sudden you start to do the things that they do. And because you do the things that they do, all of a sudden you start to get what they get, and you can start to advance yourself in life. And most of the time when you find a mentor that's an entrepreneur, you'll become an entrepreneur as well. Number 3 is some people read a book. I'll never forget, I met a mentor when I was 19 years old. I met a gentleman by the name of Tom DeFelice and another gentleman by the name of Mike Bestwick. And, these guys were successful business owners. Mike owned a successful bait and tackle shop where I'm from, and had multiple other businesses. Tom owned one of the most successful, real estate companies in the state of Rhode Island, where I grew up. And these guys started getting me reading at a real young age. I was 19 years old when I met these guys. And I'll never forget, Tom gave me the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And when I read that book, I learned about the 4 ways that people make money in America. I read that book, and then I read the cash flow quadrant. And I learned about the E's, the S's, the B's, and the I. E's are employees, people that trade time for money. S's are people that are self-employed. They work for themselves, but they don't have a system. The only way they make money is if they physically, work. Maybe like a chiropractor that doesn't have any other chiropractors working for them in their office, then their income is tied for them to physically be able to show up and give an adjustment. Now, B is somebody that's a business owner. So maybe another chiropractor has multiple chiropractic offices. They have other chiropractors that they've hired. And whether they're working or not, now they have a business that's making them money. The direct sales or the home-based business industry has always been a really great way for somebody to go from an E&S to a B, because you can build a big business, you can have a system without a lot of capital and without a lot of startup costs and without really much risk. Plus you have a mentor and a system to learn. And then I stands for investor. So I read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad when I was 19 years old. And that book really got me to realize that I never wanted to have a job. Not because I was lazy, but because I wanted to go out and work for me, because I started to understand things about how people make money. But the fourth thing, and this is something that, flows right into of a big reason for me as well, the fourth thing is that something changes in your life. When our circumstances change, our mindset changes. And so for me, as I'm reading the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I see my father get laid off from 20 plus years working for one company, working for a printing company. And when my dad gets laid off after working 20 plus years, it made me realize, wow, there's not really any such thing as job security. And at the same time, I got bypassed for a promotion at a company I was working for because of my age. So number 4 is circumstances change in people's life, which makes you realize, you know what, maybe I got to do something different. The number 5 reason is what happened for my wife. The number 5 reason why people become self-employed, where people go out and become an entrepreneur, is they hit a glass ceiling. My wife was, successful, working at an insurance agency. She was, really good at what she did, but she hit that glass ceiling, and she wasn't going to be able to move up any higher at the company she was working for. And she just knew she had something more, for herself. She knew that she was sick and tired of being sick and tired. She just had that burning desire to go out and do something more for herself. And so she realized that, she went as far as she was going to go as an employee. It was time for her to be an entrepreneur. So guys, those are 5 of the reasons, that I believe that people decide that they want to work for themselves. And for me, I learned really, really early on in life that I never wanted to have a job. Matter of fact, I had a license plate many years ago. It said no 9 to 5. Now, not to say that working a job is bad. Working a job is good. Having income is good. But for some people, we're just not wired to do that 9 to 5. For some people, we're just not wired to have somebody say, here's when you got to be in. Here's how long you have for lunch. Here's what time you can leave at the end of the day. Here's what time you got to be back tomorrow morning. And by the way, here's how much time you can take off throughout the year. Some people just aren't wired that way. I'm one of them. Now, some people, I believe the way that they're wired, they need to have, that schedule. They need to have somebody tell them, here's what you got to do. And if that's you, that's perfectly fine. That's what you should be doing. But if any of those 5 things, fit into you, then you might really want to take a serious look at being an entrepreneur and going out and seeing what you can go out and build and create. And if you got some value out of tonight's message, hit the share button, so that somebody else can go out and, get some benefit out of tonight. Drop a comment that says, I'm taking control. Drop a comment that says, I'm taking control. And what I mean by that is you're taking control of your life. So drop a comment that says, I'm taking control. Again, guys, my name is Jeff Street. I teach people how to make money from home online. And just a little side note, I know it's election night. There's a lot of crazy things that are going on in this world right now. And I pray for our country. One of the things I learned a long time ago is that you and we can't control what happens in the White House, but we can control what happens in our house. So regardless of the outcome, I just pray for everybody. Love your neighbor, like you love yourself. Let's treat everybody well, regardless of what the outcome is. We all have differences of opinions, but at the end of the day, what I believe is we're all children of God. And that's the most important thing. So guys, have a great night. God bless everybody. God bless America. I pray for everybody. I pray for this country. Have a great night, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.